Welcome back to Chat Lab. I'm Evan.
I'm Ethan. This is the podcast where thoughts are tested.
Today we don't really have much of a topic. We're just gonna be chatting, I guess, similar to last time. Except last time we had a topic, we just didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this time we're just gonna probably just chill, talk about our weeks, especially since we're not like meeting up as much anymore because at all really, because I'm back at my hometown. We have more to catch up on really.
Yeah, to be fair, because I was just going to mention this week's episode is not in person, so it's going to be a bit different. We're going to try and master and fucking do all that shit that way. Hopefully it syncs up pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, as well as that, like we need to kind of keep the dynamic that we have when we're together because I find it's much easier, I think, together. I know the first episode we did apart, and then from then on we did together, and the first episode was kind of dodge. But like, even aside from that,
I think the first episode was dodge because of part that it wasn't in person, and also because, well,
it was our
the
first
episode.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, is that it was our first episode, but at the same time, it wasn't together, so I feel like that might have not helped.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of making sure that we keep the same dynamic and same, feeling to the episodes, I suppose, even though we aren't really together, but we kind of chat similarly anyways when we're together and when we're not. So
yeah,
it shouldn't be.
I think we've gotten used to having a conversation over the past, now 11 weeks.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. I know we said last week because it was 10, but like 11 weeks.
Yeah, like next week will be 3 months, right? 4 months in a week. Or, 4 weeks in a month.
Yeah, roughly, yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, that's insane. I didn't realize, like, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, mad. What have you been up to this week? COD?
Yeah, playing a lot of Call of Duty again. I downloaded Warzone on my PC, and I have Modern Warfare on the PS4 then, so that's I set up my PS4 again recently, so I've been playing that a lot. There's a bit of a learning curve when you stop playing with the controller for a while. You kind of have to like get used to the way your character moves and stuff, and like pressing the buttons like well. But I think I got it down. I mean, some games I'm like easy. Like I got like an 8.4 KD the other day.
Yeah.
Came into a game that was already started, and I just wiped out. I got top of the leaderboard. So I ended up getting, because we were losing when I joined. So I got top of the leaderboard, wiped everybody, and I got an 8.4 KD. It's pretty good, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, okay.
No, but I'm averaging like anywhere from like 1 to like 3 KD pretty much every game, if they're not sweats as well.
Yeah, I've been craving playing a bit more of multiplayer on that game because I'm not the biggest fan of Warzone. I never got into it really, so I never built a foundational skill or anything, so
yeah,
it's not something I just want to get into. But multiplayer I've always been alright at, so especially gun game. Like I almost never lose a game of gun game, which is weird. I don't know why it's specifically that game mode, but I'm really good at gunslinging.
Fair enough.
That's like, yeah, so multiplayer is like my bread and butter, and I quite like that. I kind of want to get back into it, especially because I kind of want to warm myself up to the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War open beta, which is next month. I was gonna
talk about it, man. The alpha for the PS4 is coming out today at 6, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, so obviously the the alpha is only coming out for the PS4 starting today, and it's not going to come out for Xbox or PC, just not at all. Then
3 hours. 3 hours.
The open beta will get a week ahead for the PS4, I think, right?
Yeah, that's usually what they do.
That's kind of ridiculous, man. I know, like a whole alpha and a week of the beta. It's, oh my god, like Sony paid some money for that, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't know. They always do that. Like, there must have some deal.
Oh no, they do. I think it's what happened was Xbox used to have that deal, and then that ran out in like 2016, and Sony paid more for the same deal, so now they have the exclusivity package.
Yeah.
I think before what they used to do though is they used to early release DLC, but then they did cross-platform, so they couldn't do that anymore. So they just had to do like a week access early to like beta or something.
Yeah, and the thing is that like so the PS4 players could get like 2 weeks, and the PC and Xbox only get one like in total. Then, which is kind of crazy. Or I don't know. I think PS4 just get more in general, which is nice
Yeah.
having both, having a PS4 and a PC, like to be able to play them.
Yeah, it
Because
used to
like
be like
otherwise,
that.
yeah, otherwise I'd be waiting for it. Like,
Otherwise, like I did sell like my PS4 a couple months ago. I won't use it.
yeah,
Like I don't think I would have
rip.
been mad to download Cold War. Like I don't think I'm even gonna buy it, to be honest. I'll play the beta and see if it's okay. But I won't
Yeah,
be basing my judgment off buying it. I'll just be seeing if it's okay.
yeah. Um, the sniping looks really nice in it, though. I will say that much. It's not as nice as like Black Ops 2 type thing, but it's definitely better than like Black Ops 3, because I feel like Black Ops 3 was very, I don't know, like paintbally. Like it sounded like it did, like your gunshots didn't have power behind them, especially like a sniper. You'd expect to have some power behind it, but it wouldn't. It would just be like a when you hit someone. Like that's no fun.
Yeah.
Like you want like a which is I'm really happy with, like Modern Warfare, that like it has good gun sounds, because I feel like that's very important for like a game, and because it's Cold War, I feel like it does have like nicer sounding guns because it's not futuristic or anything.
Yeah, I mean they've a lot to live up to here, making another Black Ops game is huge. So trying to do that right will be hard for sure. And
Yeah,
let's see what
and
the zombies are like, I guess.
the last game they had was Black Ops 4. Like that
Yeah,
wasn't
I mean
great.
it wasn't great. It was I quite enjoyed it, but it wasn't great.
I enjoyed it, yeah, but it didn't last very long, and Blackout
No.
was horrible.
I think Blackout was horrible because it was the first of its generation.
Yeah,
Like
but like
Warzone had so much to look at Blackout and then improve upon it.
yeah, and like the way that you were like had to like scroll through bags of like people's loot. The way you had to scroll through it was so weird.
Yeah, the first
It's really
generation is always worse off. The second generation is
yeah.
always good. And segueing into something actually that came out this week was the 3080s launched yesterday. So those of you who don't know, Nvidia released a new generation of graphics cards, which are just so much fucking better. They're so much better, and the 3080 is like the new flagship basically, and it's better than a card that last year's flagship cost $1,200 and this one costs like 700. Now I won't be buying one, but the statistics are cool
Oh
to look
what?
at. And speaking
You
of
won't?
buying them, they came out yesterday, and bots bought them all within a minute, literally.
Oh,
They
how
didn't buy
did?
them all. Like bots didn't buy them all. I'm sure, but bots definitely got a lot of them, and then they try to scalp them then on like things like eBay and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised Nvidia kind of doesn't have a system against that, to be completely honest. But I saw this Reddit post where this guy got so angry because he couldn't buy his 3080 that he wrote a bot script to overflow anyone selling a 3080 on like eBay or anything with like market auctions. So therefore, the sellers could never actually sell it because it would be like in a constant auction state. So they
Well,
just
that's
had
good.
to hold on to their fucking 3080s, which is fucking nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Fight fire with fire.
To be fair, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking of buying things, you know that I got a HDMI switcher.
yeah. Did you
I
did you get a
I'm
switcher
so
or did you
happy.
get a cable?
I actually got two cables. Turns out I don't like fully need the two cables, because I actually found, because I have one for my um I think the one that goes into my monitor for my PC is a bit dodgy. So I needed an extra one because I thought that was a bit dodgy. Secondly, is that I needed another one for, like, you plug three different HDMI's into the switcher. So one goes to the monitor, and then you plug in the two devices into the other two. And I didn't realize I had a third HDMI. So turns out I didn't really need two cables, but it's whatever. But yeah, so I got a switcher so I can go between the PS4 and my computer. It's so handy because it's really hard to plug them in, like from the bottom where you can't see anything at all. And it like sometimes it could take me a couple of minutes, and then I give up, and I just like pull the monitor towards me. So having a switcher where you could just press a button and it swaps is so much better.
Yeah, does your monitor not have multiple HDMI inputs? Is that what the problem was?
Yeah, it doesn't. No.
Yeah, because like mine does. So I was kind of wondering what your problem was for a while. I was like, just plug another cable in. But yeah, no, that's really handy. It is really handy to have. I don't be using it that much anymore, but
yeah, like I do have a, I don't know if it's VGA or DVI, but I do have one of those on the back of my monitor. But like you can't plug the PS4 into that, and I can't plug my PC into that because if it's VGA, I don't have an input for that, and secondly, if it's DVI, I'm already using that with my second monitor. So
right,
but I might be getting a new monitor for my birthday, so it will. That's a maybe. I might be. So that's it has HDMI DisplayPort and I think DVI. So I'll probably re-plug in the DisplayPort because that's the only one I have free on my graphics card.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that'd be nice.
It's been a busy week this week, at least for myself.
Yeah, I've been doing nothing really. Well,
yeah,
I've been getting ready for college, but you're in it.
Yeah,
I had to register. That registering is so, it's annoying.
Yeah, it is.
Cause like there's just so many questions that I would have that like haven't been answered. Although I am going on a campus tour, so that's gonna be fun. And I got a mask in the post with a book explaining everything, so that's nice. But there are a couple of questions that like I have that I won't be able to get answered because they don't have like the answers in an FAQ anywhere. They have an FAQ, but like
what kind of questions do you need
I have.
Do you need answered like?
Well, I want to know what time and where I should go for my first day.
Do you not have a timetable?
No. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know.
Pretty sure timetables are like online thing. You can access it through like a student portal.
There's a day, like a weekly timetable, like as in on this day is when it starts, on this day is when this happens, on this day. But there's no like timetable for a specific day. So I'll figure it out, or I'll email someone. I don't know. I'll figure it out though. But yeah, I've just been trying to figure out that and like, get myself ready,
Yeah.
Because yeah, I actually I took out my laptop one night because I got a new laptop, this, and I took it out and I was like, I really just want to use Office like 365 or Microsoft Word or whatever, Microsoft Office, because I just gotten it and I wanted to like use it because I was excited for college and I wasn't in college yet, so I kind of just wanted to write something. I was like, I'll write things I need for college, right? So I wrote that as the title, and then colon, and then I wrote notepads, and then I did the next bullet point, and it was pens, and then I stopped there and I kept thinking for like 5 minutes, and I realized there's nothing else I need.
Yeah,
it is so different from school. I don't even really need notepads and pens because I'll have Microsoft Office. So really, like, it's
OneNote
useful,
is really
but
handy.
I don't need them.
OneNote is really handy. I used it a lot in my first year, but I quite like writing pen and paper and taking notes in class that way because it actually sticks with me more.
Yeah, I saw this video where this guy took notes on an iPad Pro, and they were amazing notes. Like, they looked so nice.
Oh, I've seen that video.
Like, all handwritten. Yeah, I can't remember his name, but yeah.
Yeah, so like my structure, at least for last semester, was I take all my notes on my like refill pad, and then I would either rewrite them just to be neater, like that Sammy fella or whatever, or I would type them up in OneNote.
Like my friend Sammy.
What?
My friend Sammy or Samuel from
the Samuel guy you referenced?
Oh,
I have no idea who your friend Sammy is.
I have a friend Sammy who did that for like the LC, like when we were like studying and stuff. He wrote it. He kept every day he'd write out like a beautiful page of notes.
That's weird. It's weird that I just happened to guess that. Okay, but yeah. So that was my strategy, This week's been very interesting. So I've had all my modules. So I've done a full week of college now. I've had 2 days in and 3 days
Oh,
online, and I think I do prefer sitting online and doing it because of the course that I have. Like some things, like basically we have this module called software development, right? And I think from after doing a 2 hour practical today, it's basically we had this module in the first year, first semester called interpersonal skills, and it's basically like how to develop like your communication skills to like effectively develop good soft skills to be of use to you in like the office or whatever. And that's basically what this is, just a bit more
wait,
into.
hold on. You did interpersonal skills at home.
No, we did interpersonal skills in our first year, first semester. So
Oh
like
yeah,
this time
yeah,
last year we
okay.
did that. It's like an entry level module. It's literally just like teamwork and like how to think critically and stuff. And there's some of that in software development, which leads me to believe it's like kind of an overlap, because this is a lot of like your thought process and how you structure planning and teamwork and things. So I had no idea what this module entailed, and I'm glad that's what it is, because, well, let's just say our teacher wouldn't have been, very useful if we had him for something else.
Why?
He's a bit boring,
Loony?
and he's not even loony.
Oh.
He's just a big old waffler.
I think it does depend though on your course. Like if you had a course where it's like mainly just learning and listening to someone, it could be a bit boring. But I think being at home doing something like software development or programming and stuff like that, I think it's a bit more fun to be in your own comfortable space while doing something, like actively doing something, than being in your own comfortable space just listening to some person talk about this thing for an hour
Yeah, definitely.
or
But
more.
I'm not going to defend this lecturer at all. He is just extremely boring. Like, he could have been teaching me something really interesting, like something like one of the other modules I've had this week, and I would have found it boring of him. But no, there's been some fun things. I'm not going to get into my modules because I'm sure that will go. I'm sure that wouldn't be too exciting. But there's one module called networking that we have. Basically, goes into detail about how the internet works and all that kind of good stuff.
Facebook.
Sure. And the literacy that's referenced in like the syllabus. There's one like 900-page book, and there's another like 200-page book, and the 200-page book is free. The 900-page one is like €50. Um, I found a PDF of the 900-page one, but that's besides the point. So I've been reading the 200-page one because it's literally called Introduction to Networking, and you can like read a chapter, and you can literally go online to their website that they have the book on for free and take quizzes on each chapter. And it's really handy because the lectures we're having in this class are like, they have like a big overlap in that book. Like I started reading it yesterday, and I'm like 30 pages in, and we had a lecture today, and it was basically just like 50-50 new content. Like, obviously the lecturer adds on to the slides, but the slides were basically that book, just like really slowed down and
Yeah.
paced, which is really nice actually, because like you think, oh, it's just they're just reteaching the book, and it's like, well, that's what they do in every class like ever. But it's really handy to read a book along with being taught it, because I'm like rehearing it and stuff. So that's really good.
Yeah, I kind of get that. Like, but the only like I used to not do that really with textbooks, but I would do that with because like some of the times I just wouldn't know exactly what it was talking about or whatever, and depending on the teacher, I'd like to hear it from them.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but when it came to like, if we were trying to like read a book in the class, and every now and then you get the slow reader, who just cannot read for their
Yeah,
life.
I don't
You just read
understand.
ahead.
Like, I understand. Okay, I do understand why teachers are like, let's take turns reading. It engages people because eventually someone has to do reading, and like it helps them develop their reading skills if they're bad.
It
And
also helps them remember
true.
because they're reading it rather
Yeah.
than just listening.
I mean, yeah. But there's always just one fella that like he's not even listening while he's the one reading it, and he reads like a one like 10 words per minute. I don't know what it is. He's like that kid in like first class when you're 8 years old, and he thinks he found the cheat code to reading It's just you read one word at a time. You don't read out the sentence. So he'd be like, "This is a sentence," and he
But
thinks he's hacked the
do you
system.
remember? Do you remember your man who used to call me Straw?
Yeah.
Yeah, he he used to get called out to read, and he'd stutter like a madman, and like it was just so funny because he'd read really slowly but also stutter at the same
That's really
time,
funny. I
and
don't know how you
and
can.
it was like torture because like just read it, like, you know what I mean?
I mean, like, obviously,
Like,
like
what are you
everyone
doing?
stutters over their own words sometimes. So that's when they're either A, trying to form a sentence out of their own head, which is arguably harder than stuttering
Or
while
reading
reading,
quickly.
or reading quickly. So if you're reading slowly and does he just generally have a stutter, or is he just bad at reading?
No, I think it's just when I think it's when he calls out anything, like even answers and stuff. I think he does.
Okay,
Um,
because I mean, if
I
he's
think
just
he's
if
just
he's
got
just
some
bad
sort
at
of
reading, then it's
anxiety about
funny.
calling people
But
out.
like if he has a stutter,
No, he
that's
doesn't have a stutter.
that wouldn't have been too funny to laugh
No,
at.
he doesn't have a stutter at all. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and then so you read ahead because you're like, okay, this screen is so slow, not like mentally, but like slow
Well,
at reading. Well, you never know, depending on the person. And then you start reading ahead, and then like just in your head, just scanning the page basically because you're just like zooming ahead, and then you get called on to read, and you're like, I have no idea where I am. And
yeah,
then if you say I read ahead, they're like, don't read ahead.
that
It's like, sorry, you picked someone who stutters and can't read more than 10 words per minute. Like,
it's fine. It's good that you're finally going to get out of second level education because Jesus Christ, it's such a bad transition between being baby like a primary school student and being left off to do your own independent learning like college. It's such a bad transition because it's like they tell you what to do and they expect you to learn on your own. It's like I don't want to do either of those things.
yeah,
The freedom you get in college, at least in my experience of my course, is great.
yeah. You see, the thing is as well is that like, I think it was in second year, because my history teacher changed for that year, and I don't know why, and I swear I actually had a breakdown for one of the exams because I was trying to study, and I said to my mom, so to my mom, I said I don't want to do this anymore. I said I don't understand why I would have to learn this if this is not what I want to do. I said I will never want to use history in my career. It will never happen.
Yeah.
So why do I have to learn this? And it didn't help that the teacher at the time changed, and I didn't like him as much as the other one, and he was kind of a bad teacher and also kind of mean.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
my other teacher would tell stories and like explain it like really nicely, and like you'd listen, you'd be so engaged, and then this guy was just reading from the book and telling other people to read from the book as if it was a novel. Like, no, you have to teach it, not just get us to read a page.
Yeah. Like
Anyway,
I mean I
so
quite liked learning as a child. That's what I wouldn't relate with a lot of people.
nerd.
Yeah. Still there. But
But yeah, so
yeah.
I really just wanted to give up. I was like, there's no reason why I shouldn't have to learn this if I will never use it. And then
It's a fair argument. It's just that's the
yeah, and like
situation you're stuck
I
in.
don't know if I recognized it then, but I definitely recognize now that I know the reason. It's because not every child knows what they want to do.
Yeah.
So you give them this big broad range of stuff, and then they get to pick from what they like the most in their final years. But even then, like, the options are so weird, like I just don't understand. Like, okay, so I picked business economics, which true, that will you help me in my college course.
Mm-hmm.
I picked French because I had to have a language to be in a university, because I don't think I could. If I didn't do French, I wouldn't be able to go. I'd have to go to an institute of technology. At least that's how it works here. I don't know. And then biology, it was it was my favorite science that I had to pick from, but like the choices were so limited that like it didn't really make much sense to me, as like the fact that I still had to do things that I wasn't really happy about. And then your core subjects that you have to do, like Irish. I'm not gonna use Irish in my career. Although, yeah, okay, fine. It's it's necessary to keep the language alive and blah blah blah. But I won't speak Irish. Like, I'll do it as a mess. But that's about it. Like, and then as far as maths, Yeah, I need maths, true, but like I'm not gonna have to, I don't know, find the limit of x when I'm doing accounting in business. I'm not doing accounting, but there is an accounting module, so but like I'm not gonna have to find the limit of x in that. So that those things I'm a bit still like ugh. But I do understand at the same time the kids that have no clue what they want to do. It makes sense. Give them broader choices so that they can do them all and figure out which one they prefer. So which will help them in their career. I just personally knew what I didn't want to do.
That's why I liked
I
the
wasn't too
system of my secondary school where you got to get cycled through the options before you pick them for your junior
yeah.
cert.
Mine didn't have that.
Yeah, that's a really good
In
system.
first year, you get to try all of them, don't you? Like every single one.
Yeah, it was like it rotated on like a 2 week basis until Halloween or like midterm. Until midterm, and then over midterm, either over midterm or just before it, you had to pick your options in a list and submit them. And then
Much better.
yeah, and then depending on like space and whoever was getting them, you might get your first option, your second option, yada yada yada. And then after midterm, you're on a block timetable. Then with just the options you picked, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You see, the thing is that like you pick and you're stuck there.
yeah,
That's how it worked. And then you'd hear or you'd see some people going, I can't do this, let me go to woodwork, or I can't do this, let me go to metalwork, or let me go to this or that or whatever. Because there were a couple spaces that you could still fit one or two kids in if they chose it quick enough. But like the fact that you're locked in pretty much when you pick is before you even go to the school. Because you have to pick before you even attend for your first day. It's a bit ridiculous,
yeah.
personally.
It's a bit like I probably would have picked art. I think we talked about this before, but yeah, I probably would have picked the wrong options if I got the choice to pick them.
Yeah, like I think it is just a bit like ridiculous that you can't, get to try them out in my school at least, or many schools I think that were around. Like none of them, I think had that. I think yours is the only one I've ever heard of doing that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it's so much better.
Yeah, it's a really good
Like,
system.
I
To be fair, it's quite
I'd take
quite
that
an alright
anyway.
school. Like I mean, the school does prioritize you if you're sporty, but I think most schools do that around in Ireland anyway.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
You either have to be
No
really
doubt.
smart or sporty. Like they do a lot of academic like things,
Yeah.
but you have to be like a student, and granted, a lot of people
Yeah.
aren't that. So
Yeah. Did I tell you actually that I got an email when we were told like you can't talk to your teachers anymore because of the particular
Yeah.
grades. We got an email from my biology teacher saying he talked about loads of stuff and good luck and blah blah blah. And one of them was one of the things he said was that we were the best class, one of the best classes he's had in 15 years.
oh
And I was like, oh man, because like truthfully I 100% respect that man. Like he is just a legend, but like I wouldn't necessarily like. I was telling my mom about this like yesterday that there's a teacher that I have as well that I would consider like a bro. He's on our level. I see him as a bro more than anything else. But then this teacher, I have the crack with him every now and then, but I would consider it more respect than a bro. You know what I mean? Like I'd go out partying with the bro, and I'd go for like dinner with the respected teacher. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of like, not to mention he's older, so it would be more respect anyway. But I always loved his class. He taught me biology. Then did I say that? I think I did. Yeah.
yeah,
So I actually really did like biology. So even though I'm not necessarily going to use it for college, I'm happy I chose that one because people who were doing physics got my maths teacher because she did the physics and the maths, and all about her.
yeah.
She said that she said that I used to. What was it again? I had a menacing glare, and then I you don't know what's going on inside his head. I said that to my parents. She said that to my parents.
Takes a lot to say that to your parents.
Yeah, both of them were like, "That's funny," because all the other teachers say he's fine. There's nothing wrong. And, he's never
Yeah.
gotten a comment like that before in all his years of being a student. And then the people who did chemistry said it was super hard and the teacher wasn't all that nice either. So I'm so happy I picked biology. And I know it's like known as like the easier science, but like still, it's still pretty difficult. Like,
It's just a lot of learning, not a lot of understanding. That doesn't make it any less
Yeah.
hard. Like, it's hard in its own respect. It's hard in the mass amount of memorization you have to do. Obviously, there's some like
Yeah,
understanding, but like in terms of understanding,
there's
it's
not-
probably like the simplest. But in terms of memorization, it's probably the hardest, and that's what makes it balanced.
yeah, like there's not a lot of how you say there's not a lot of like wrapping your head around things. There's some for sure,
Yeah.
but there's not like it's not full of it, and not to mention there is a bit of like chemistry in biology because there has to be, like, it mixes, they're all connected. Like, the nitration cycle is chemistry, which was my least favorite part, as you'd imagine.
Yeah.
I hated that part. I could never learn it.
Well, how's your structure been this week? Have you any bit of a routine going on?
No, the only routine that I have is that I keep getting woken up at like 8:30 by a drill right out my window.
Awesome. And you don't decide
if
that's
that
the day to
counts
get
as
up.
structure.
Their time
no,
of day to get
no,
up.
it just gets me up. I don't go, I'm gonna get up at 8 now tomorrow. Like, it just happens. Although I do try to sleep through it, and I might get like until like 9:30, 10, maybe 10:30. Because like every now and then they'll stop for like a minute or two, and I might just forget about it then and fall asleep for a while again. But yeah, it's that's the only reason why I have any bit of routine of getting up early. But that does mean that I get to sleep a little bit earlier than I was before I moved back. And I also am sleeping better, and quicker. And I think that's because I get up earlier, so I'm more tired.
Was today an exception then?
Today was an exception because I was up till like 4 a.m. I don't know why. I think mostly it was TikTok. Honestly, I can't lie, it was TikTok mostly. But yeah, I was up pretty late. So then I got up like 12:30.
Yeah.
Which is back to normal, but whatever. I did set up my sleep app, actually. I can get it up there. I think I have it up for I can't remember now. I have it on some sort of time anyways, where I think I get up at 9:30 is what I have it set to. So I get to bed at like 1 or something, or 1:30. I think I put in 8 hours sleep. Yeah, so like 1:30ish is when it says I should get to sleep. Haven't used it yet though.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, actually, iOS 14, yup.
Yeah, it's really nice. So about last weekend, my brother made it aware to me that there's an iOS 14 beta, and I should download that. So I did, and it was fun, and I was really enjoying it. And then this week, Apple had their keynote and unveiled iOS 14 officially. So now everyone gets to download it, and
I got it. It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing too different, really, personally.
it's just new features. They
they-
didn't do any UI
yeah.
overhauls, which is appreciated.
Yeah. Like we've got the widgets now, and you get to see if your camera or your microphone is being used. Can't remember. There's a couple of privacy settings that have been activated now, which I do appreciate. There's also back tap.
Yeah, that's for selective iPhones, I think.
Yeah. I think you can do it from the X and the XR up. So like 3 phones or 4 phones. So not much. But it's so cool. Like I can triple tap to bring up Siri, and it's just like so useful. Cuz Siri, you have to like hold the 2 side buttons or say hey Siri.
Yeah.
But, like if I'm holding it and I don't want to look like a fool, I could just tap it like
Yeah, I just say hey Siri because you can say it pretty quietly and she'll pick it up. So
yeah, hey Siri. No, it didn't work.
I just hold my mouth near the microphone. That's the trick.
Just hey Siri.
Yeah.
Didn't work either. But oh yeah, did you notice, by the way, I don't know if you knew this. I was watching a video, like all the iOS 14 like things, like everything to do with it. So then I could, when I got it, I'd be like, it was while it was downloading. So then when I got it, I could activate or deactivate or add or whatever I wanted, right? So I'd know what I'd want to do with it when I got it. If you swipe right underneath, you know how you have like the a couple icons on your home screen at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
If you swipe right just underneath that, it will bring up the most recent app you had open. And if you have multiple apps open, it will, and you keep doing it, it will open up them one by one. So it's like the app switcher, except it's just at the bottom, and you can do it both ways depending on which side you're on. And I never knew this. I watched him do it, and I was like, wait, what is that?
That's kind of weird. That's really weird.
I didn't know you could.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and I was like, hold on. So I tested it. I was like, oh, it's iOS. It was iOS 13 as well. You didn't need 14 for it. I was like, oh, I'm assuming it's only for a specific amount or a certain amount of phones, like, you know, probably 10R, or XR, whatever, 11 Pro, you know, all those. I wouldn't imagine it's for.
Well, it
could be 8.
Excuse me.
God.
Yeah, I mean, apologies for this episode. You know, of course, we're not in person, so we just kind of have to randomly do it, and our houses will be noisy. At least mine is very at the moment. People have a habit of slamming doors in this house as of I started recording. So
yeah,
nice.
And your dog has a habit of barking. I've heard that a couple times.
I'm not sure how much we'll get through or how loud it will be after we reduce it and stuff, but should be okay.
Shouldn't be too bad,
right,
really.
Yeah, I have a structure now.
Yeah,
this week.
Yeah.
I'm working out and stuff.
Structures. I've been trying. I've been trying to stream.
Right. Yeah.
Trying to get back streaming, and I wanted to on Wednesday, and I wanted to today. I can today actually. It might just be a bit of a later stream, but I should be able to stream today. But like the day of us recording this, but I wanted to do it on Wednesday, but the only problem was there was drilling and sawing and all the time.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do it, and I was like, the one time I like get somewhat of a schedule together, there's noise. Because like what we're doing is we had to dig up the 2 shower trays. So one of them's done, the other one is being done again, because when they were being put in the first time, they were like stepped on the side, on one side, when it wasn't like fully dry yet. So it because they were working on it, so they were on it. I'm assuming that's what happened anyways. So it actually goes the other way instead of towards the drain.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to like push it with your feet, like the water through. So they did one and they're doing the other one now, but they had to like dig in really deep and stuff, like to get it all done and get it all fixed. And there's other things that are going on in there to where it's loud anyway, even if it's drilling or whatever they're doing. So yeah, it's been a bit hard to actually stick with what I've tried to do for my my schedule, because like I literally got through one day of the schedule and then there was drilling. So like I couldn't really do much. It was a bit tough.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of sucks, I guess, but I'll figure out a way.
I've definitely been getting my shit back together with the whole working out thing.
Yeah, see that, man. You're going to college and then you're working out and then you're running.
Yeah, running is the big one. So I've started that up while starting working out again, which is not as much as I thought it would be to balance. So I'm using an app called Couch to 5K, and basically it's like HIIT training. So you do running like 3 days a week, and then you go up through the weeks, and supposedly in 8 weeks of doing this, so I've already done one, in 7 more weeks, or episode 18. I don't know, like I'm on about our podcast episode, I'm not sure. By either episode 18 or 19, I should have ran a 5K.
Nice.
Which would be pretty nice.
I suppose you guys can look out for that. What's that? That's going to be 7 weeks away.
Yeah, that's
madness. That's crazy how I don't like. I guess you when you do it, you don't really think like, oh, it's weekly, so it's been 11 weeks.
Yeah, right. It's
Like,
just
I never think of it that way.
yeah. I just think about it one podcast at a time. I don't think about them like how many weeks
Yeah,
into the future we're gonna have them.
because like 11 episodes sound short, but when you say 11 weeks, it's like
Yeah,
whoa.
it's a lot.
Yeah, like the people who have. I know we talked about it the last time, but people who have like thousands of episodes, like oh my god.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. Um,
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be fun.
yeah. I'm also
Yeah.
playing more Minecraft solo because I can't remember if I mentioned this, but I've never completed Minecraft vanilla solo. Never completed it, so I've never defeated the Ender Dragon on my own and without anything. So I'm trying to do that. It's really unsuccessful as of now. Like it's
Yeah,
comical how unsuccessful it is.
yeah. I mean, like we were on a call and I had a really good world and I had to like go or something, or it was late and you went, and then I was like, all right, I'm not bothered to play it right now. But like I had a perfect world. Like I spawned, I had coal and iron pretty quick. I had a lava pool. I had a broken
Nether portal.
nether portal. I was going, man. I nearly was in the nether after like 10 minutes. I don't know if that's good or not.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, but basically
Yeah, it was
the
crazy.
yesterday. I can't remember if I started it yesterday or not. Yesterday, I think, was the start of a great Minecraft world that I have going on. So I started to take it more methodically, and so I found 2 villages randomly. I don't know how I did that, but there's a lot of biomes in this world, and I went through all the villages, got like fucking 4 stacks worth of bread. Amazing stuff. Doing all that, it's all good. Have some iron, it's pretty good. And then I finally found a lava pool. So I went to the nether and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a bed before I go in. I'm gonna set my respawn point. I'm gonna put a chest with all my good stuff in it there, and just have like enough to like kill blazes if I need to, and then get out, rather than going in with everything, losing it, and then giving up. So,
Yeah, because that's what you did on when I think we were together. You
yeah,
died
I
and
was
you were like, I should have made a
I was
bed.
basically just trying new methods because I'm trying to find a way that I can reliably do it. But as soon as I went into the Nether portal, I did spawn within like 100 blocks of a fortress.
Oh,
So that's pretty awesome. I got like 10 blaze rods and I dipped out, and then I got, after like 25 golden ingots, I gave it to the Ziglins, or what are they called? Piglins, right? I gave them like 25. I finally got 5 ender pearls, so I now have 4 eyes of ender because I was using them. Oh, actually, I might have lost those. So basically, I was using them, and I got like I think I'm like 1,000 blocks away from like my spawn, or like my bed and stuff. And I'm pretty sure I've located where another fortress or an end portal would be. But I died to a creeper, and I was like, oh no. And then I realized it wasn't that bad because I had like a stack of iron back in my chest. I still have like a surplus of blaze powder, and all I need to do is get some ender pearls, which isn't that difficult. So I managed to set myself up to, even if I died, I was okay to keep going. Especially now I know where the stronghold is. I just need eyes to fill the portal. I mean, I think I know where it is.
Yeah.
Like I have.
like it's not much of a speed run really, but it's
Yeah, I'm trying to complete it
it's
now.
speedier than normal.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
you're trying to complete it by yourself. Yeah, like it didn't take you. It like most. I suppose back in the olden days of Minecraft, like you wouldn't beat the game in like a couple of days or a day or even 20 minutes. Like the world records are like that's ridiculous. Like if you think about it, but nowadays, yeah, it you know technically if you think about it, you're playing slow, but it's not too slow because you're still doing it pretty quick. Like I get caught up in trying to get stuff, even if I don't necessarily need them. So then I get to a stage where I kind of am losing time that I could be using to like finish the game. So that's my downfall anyway. It's just like getting caught up in like wanting to get stuff, like get iron, get this, get that. Like yeah, you need full iron, an iron, sword or axe, and then you're pretty much good to go
Yeah.
to the end. Like
Just-
as in like once you're in the end, you're pretty much good to go. But I get caught up in trying to get like cool stuff and stuff I won't necessarily need if I'm doing a speed run, but I still want
Yeah.
it.
So speaking of games, we played a game with 10 of us earlier in
Why
the
you
week.
why you playing games with my heart, huh? Sorry, go on.
Among Us has become a recently popular game that I watched like half of Vic's Dare video and that's it. I haven't watched any of it really, but it's massive on Twitch lately, and
I think you'd love Disguised Toast.
I've heard of him. I think I've watched a couple
He's
of
a
his
YouTuber,
videos
and
before.
he's been doing a lot of Among Us recently, and he's a really good imposter.
Yeah, so basically, all of
I
us, all of our
should
like
watch him.
friends got on. We all got Among Us.
There's like
Yeah,
eight to
10
ten
of us,
depending.
and it was really fun because nobody trusted
Yeah.
anybody. And when they trusted someone, they were the imposter. It was just bad luck, and it was really funny that way.
And not to mention, I got voted off first round, pretty much all the time, even if I was the imposter or not. Like,
Yeah,
so, because it didn't matter. It didn't matter what I was doing or where I was. I could be literally the other side of the map, but it's me. Yep, I'm loved. What can I say? But yeah, we've been playing that quite a lot recently. I have been playing a lot more of it because I have another server like on Discord where like I have other friends who love to play it as well. Remember, they used to always text me when I was on with you or whatever, and I was like, oh, I'm busy. I'm sorry, I'm with someone else. Like I can't play right now.
yeah.
Cause like I didn't want to like leave and be like, oh, I'm gonna play Among Us when I didn't really want to at that time. But then when I played with all of you, it kind of sparked it again, and I was like, oh, this game.
Yeah, I
fun.
definitely want to play it like on
So-
Sunday or something with everyone because I'm sure on a Sunday evening everyone's free. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll see. Like I'll inquire about it. Like maybe today or tomorrow. Just I want time for people to either make time, or just like enough time so if someone made plans with them, they might just go have things with the lads. Because it's really hard to organize 8 to 10 people to get online at once.
Yeah, because like the minimum you can, if you have 7, you can only really have 1 imposter, and if you have 8, you can have 2. So,
Yeah, I
like,
saw this setting that I saw a lot of people play is that when someone gets ejected or killed, it doesn't tell you if they're the
it doesn't
imposter.
tell you. Yeah.
That is a way
the
better
that's-
setting.
That's the confirm
Ejects. Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, and it was turned off for one game, and I didn't like the change. But after watching Disguised Toast a lot, it actually makes it better for the imposter.
Yes,
because
completely.
if you say, if you try to vouch for someone and then they're the imposter, it looks bad on you.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you say it's this person and then it's not, it looks bad on you. But if you don't know, it's much better. So I think, yeah,
because
I think
a
we
lot of
should
people
turn
can just do
them
process of elimination as well. Like if they kick someone out and it was either this guy or another guy, and they kick out this guy and he's not the imposter, it's like, well, now I know the answer. But if you kick him out and it just goes he was ejected, you're like, did I eject the imposter or not? And is there another one? You don't know, and that's what makes it so much
Yeah.
better. It makes it harder, which I
be a bit
think is better.
creepier.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you're like,
Also,
okay.
the element of winning is a lot better, for both parties.
Yeah, but the thing is that like if you know that one imposter is ejected, if you're with 2 other people, you're gonna feel safe. Whereas if you don't know that 2 imposters have been ejected, and you're with 2 people, those 2 people could be the imposters.
Yeah, because I did find it quite hard to be the imposter. Not because, like, I don't know, like, making up a story is hard on the spot, especially when you fucking 9 people rattling your brain about everything that's going on. But on top of that, it's the whole process of elimination of just like, hey, I'm not the imposter, kicks him out and says not the imposter. Like, well, now I know. You have to leave the element of surprise there to help the imposter, and that's what makes it a bit more fun, I think, for sure. And what you're saying about it being scary is definitely more true.
Yeah, when you went, you like loads of you guys went off, and it was only like seven, maybe even six of us. We only had one imposter, and one of the guys goes, Robbie, he goes, man, I've never gotten an imposter like this. Is ridiculous. And then he went quiet before we all got muted, and there was a 15-second countdown for the emergency timer, or the emergency button. So I went away, and then I was like, it'd be gas now if I go back and press the button. So I went back and just spammed until the time went off, and it was like 5 seconds to go. So I pressed it, and then and I went, it's Robbie, and Zoran was like, it's Robbie, yeah, it's Robbie, he's chasing me. We all we all voted Robbie, and it wasn't even him. But like, it was just the fact that like we had nothing to go off except for the fact that he said, I've never been an imposter, and then went quiet. So I was like, it would be so funny now to kick him off. And I was a crewmate as well, so it wasn't like I was trying to get rid of anyone. Like, I just thought it would be hilarious to do it.
Now imagine that with the confirm eject off, and you all go, yeah, it's Robbie, and you kick him out, and you don't know if it was him or not. And because of your like, it's definitely Robbie, like attitude, you think, oh, there's only one left now. And then,
well, there was only one imposter anyways, because there wasn't enough of us.
True. Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess.
So yeah, but yeah, no, it's just so fun to be playing that, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we definitely should get on with that. That'd be fun. Yeah, I suppose we can go into the what you call it, the life pro tip.
The weekly dose of life advice. Do you have one? Because I might have one if you want. Okay,
I do.
Cool.
I have two I can pick from.
Sure, pick the best one.
Do you want the one with 426 awards or the one with 72 awards? Do you want to get the underrated one or the one that's been awarded?
We'll take the one that's been awarded loads. Why not?
All right. Replace the EN on Wikipedia with simple to get a far less complicated version of the article, like it was written for 5-year-olds.
I saw this because obviously we browse the same subreddit, but so I saw this doesn't mean much, but that's a really useful thing that I didn't know existed.
Yeah, I didn't know either, because there's loads of information you don't really
that takes away from the whole explain like I'm 5 subreddit as well, which I use quite a lot to understand coding concepts.
There's an explain like I'm 5.
Yeah, so basically you put in your concept or like thing that you don't understand, and then put ELI5 after it into Google, and usually someone would have posted about it like a year ago or whatever, and someone will just try to really simplify the concept and help you understand it that way.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, but like I've always looked up stuff on Wikipedia, and I'm like, just give me the answer I'm looking for. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's a bit because there's so much information as well. I feel like the 5-year-old version would be a bit like more condensed into simple, you know, like almost bullet pointed sounding like information rather than like all this BS that's just like there for no reason. Yeah, I mean, if you want, we could also talk about the second life pro tip. It's up to you.
Sure.
We could have
double whammy.
Sure.
Sure.
When you're in bed and your mind starts racing, focus on your physical body, the weight of the blanket, the shape of the pillow, relaxing your toes. It keeps your mind in one
And
spot.
that was my one.
Was it actually? See that? We're on the same wavelength, man. I bet your eyes lit up when I started talking.
Oh, yeah. Well, very useful advice.
I guess it's kind of like meditation, but for sleeping.
It's just to help your mind stop spiraling, and it's really useful.
Yeah, like I feel like it's like, yeah, because my mind does race. It's been, as I said earlier, it's been racing, and I've been, not as much, but I've been getting to sleep a bit easier. But it does race sometimes, and I do try to focus on certain things, which is why I started listening to podcasts when I was going to bed, because it helped me focus. And then I stopped doing that because I realized I'm relying too much on this thing, and sometimes I feel like it actually made me stay up later because I was listening to something actively.
Yeah.
So, I do think that like having some sort of like a meditation, you know, would definitely help. Like relax you, because I mean, it makes you feel sleepy when you meditate anyway. You feel super relaxed. So imagine already being in bed. Like I get how it would be useful.
Yeah, it definitely helps with the whole overthinking scenario, and it could just help you get to bed as well. I notice that when I'm comfy or when I'm about to pass out in bed because I've been really tired of the day, I notice that it gets really like if I actually do notice like the weight of the covers and stuff, it's really really helpful for falling asleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean. I get that when I wake up and it's like super cozy sometimes.
Yeah, also when when you wake up first, I guess, you do want to go back to sleep. And that's what you would notice.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I'd say you got 2 weekly dose of life advice.
Yeah,
Like, imagine
double whammy.
Lucky you.
Points at the listener.
Lucky you, listener. Yeah, lucky you, listener. But yeah, I suppose we can leave it there for this week. I suppose check us out. Got the link in the description of whatever platform you're listening on.
That's link,
baby.
That's linkt.ree/chatlab.
Yeah, you'll get all of our links
All of
there.
our socials.
So
without further ado,
yeah.
I guess we'll see y'all next week.
And for the traditional
bye.